I traveled to the middle of the country to visit Winnipeg, Manitoba to find out what's going on with their exploding craft beer scene. And did I finally find an IPA I could fall in love with? Small-scale craft breweries are popping up all over Canada to help satisfy our thirst for locally brewed beer. I'm Angela Bell, and I'm drinking my way across Canada, one craft brewery at a time. I'm looking for real folks that are making real beer. This is Crafted in Canada. Winnipeggers love arts, culture, and sports, and it turns out they love craft beer too. Craft breweries are popping up like crazy in Winnipeg these days. They are still catching up with bigger markets like Toronto and Vancouver, but more and more Manitobans are drinking craft beer, and that's a great thing for the local beer industry.
You know, it's not like Portland where it's like 50% of all the beer sold in Portland is local beer, right? In Manitoba, probably maybe, I guess it's around about 5% now, right? But it's 2.5% larger than it used to be, right? And it used to be zero.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's growing. It's growing, and it's going in the right direction.
I'm in the emerging Winnipeg Brewery District to visit Half Pints Brewing Company, one of the pioneers of the Winnipeg craft brewing scene. Dave Rudge started home brewing beer in the late 1990s, and many of those recipes are the backbone of Half Pints' success today.
When I built the brewery, we had an old brewery over on Q8 Street, and it was maybe 2,200 square feet. It was tiny, right? And so struggling through those especially those first 5 years, it was like, oh man, it was really tough. But it was more just like, I know if I brew it, people will want it. And when we first started out, it was like, okay, I'm gonna brew this and just go ahead, because nobody in Manitoba had ever really focused on that really craft end of things before. And then all of a sudden it was like, wait a minute, that's the popular thing. Look, I wanna drink good beer. I wanna drink beers that I'm never gonna be able to buy at the liquor store. So I'm gonna go ahead and just build a brewery and brew my own beers.
More than a decade later, Dave still loves brewing great beer.
What I really like about brewing is just the aroma of stuff while you're standing there, you know, the whole smell of it that's what's like, I really enjoyed that for years, right? It's still fun to get in there every once in a while and get your hands dirty and brew a batch of beer and just have fun.
The tasty seasonal beers come fast and furious, so there's always something different in the Half Pints tap room.
We generally have a system here where we brew what one or two of us like and hope that other people enjoy it. It's more about kind of what we want to brew as brewers. So that said, it means that over the course of the year, we're going to brew, 50 to 80 different beers. And in that roster of beers, there may be some that people are just like, I don't like this. That's fine. That's a good thing, right? It's a good thing that people nail down, I don't like this, because it makes it easier to figure out what you actually like.
They have a saying here in Winnipeg tap rooms, slam that, try this. So I got to work. I started with the St. James Pale Ale, a refreshing Kolsch-style blonde. Next up were a pair of recipes that Dave brought from his homebrewing days. He's refined them over the years, but the tastes have stood the test of time. The Bulldog Amber is a straightforward English pub ale with a soft, caramelly flavor and a golden hop finish. As a newcomer to craft beer, I've had a love-hate relationship with IPAs. I appreciate their bold flavor and hoppy aroma, and I understand that IPAs have been a big part of the craft beer boom. But I hadn't found one that I would drink regularly. Half Pints Little Scrapper is more approachable than the other IPAs I've sampled. It's hoppy, but not as bitter as most modern American IPAs. Half Pints also has 4 taps of always changing seasonal beers in the tap room.
What's new is a common thing here at Half Pints. So really for us, it's always been that situation. It's never so much what's new, it's that we are handing a beer across the counter to someone and they're saying, oh, thank you, I'm glad you got this beer. And then they're like, what's next?
That makes every trip to Half Pints an exciting new adventure for craft beer fans.
I didn't get into brewing to just brew one beer and stand around and just drink one beer. It would be just much too boring to do that. You gotta have choice. The fruit comes ripe, so you go and you grab some fruit, or you know, the local hops are ready, so you go and pick some hops or whatever, right? You gotta do something different all the time.
Half Pints is one of Manitoba's top brewers and has helped guide the direction of the craft beer market in Winnipeg and the region. I encourage you to head on in and slam that, try this. You won't regret it.